no. This cannot be. If y'all love the ritual and the sin and stuff like that, y'all are gonna love this. Y'all are going to enjoy this. Y'all are gonna gobble this down, devour it. You're gonna devour this book. I'm not even playing. Hi, wonderful people, and welcome back to my channel, Book Craves. How are you? What's up? What have you been reading lately? I have been reading this. This is what I am currently reading. But let's talk about what I read in June. June was an okay month for me. I read like 20 books, which is still a good amount of books to read. Some were good, some wasn't so good. Some I didn't finish read. Some I have to wait for the next book in the series to be released. But we are still chilling, okay? If you love romance books and that is your jam, especially if you enjoy books written by indie authors, then you have found your way to the right channel. So if this is what you like, this is what you enjoy, because this is what we talk about and the type of books that I mainly focus on this channel, then click that button down below and you can also follow me here. Okay, so let's get into what I read in June, because June was a kind of month. It was that kind of month, okay? It was just that kind of month. So let's get into these books. So this is how my month started, yo. This is how my month started with Miss Kenya Wright. She has been releasing so many books this year and I have been loving them tremendously, just enjoying them. So let's start with Dirty Flower, because I have already spoken about this book on my channel. I have already recommended this book to you in June because I enjoyed it so much. So we're back to reading about Casimir and Emily. So if you have not read Dirty Kisses, if you have not read any books of this series, you cannot read this. This is the most recent release in the Lion and the Mouse series. You have to read those books in that order. So if you haven't, then you need to start with Dirty Kisses. But if you have, and you're like me, obsessed with this series, then let's proceed. Emily and Casimir. Emily in this book, she is trying to protect Casimir from finding out something, okay? So Dark M did something terrible. Dark M wanted to find love for herself. And Dark M decided, oh, I'm going to have a relationship with someone else. But she had a relationship with someone on the compound where they are living. So Emily wakes up one morning, she realizes, oh, my body feels different. Something doesn't feel right. And discovers that Dark M did something. And so in this book, you see Emily trying to cover up what Dark M did so that she can protect people. And so she takes measures to, one, protect herself, protect people, and as well as to, you know, try to keep the lion, aka Casimir, really calm. Like this story, I laughed. Because how are you going to hide something from the lion? How are you going to hide something from Casimir? No. That is just not going to happen. It's not going to happen, period. This book, I think I had the most fun reading this particular story just because of how Emily operated in this book. The fact that she thought she could hide something from Casimir. But listen, that was not the highlight for me. When Dark M came out, she specifically told Casimir, listen, if you hurt anybody I care about, I am going to hurt people that you care about, okay? That's all the spoilers you are going to get about Dirty Flower. So listen, this is a must read if you have been following this series. And if you have not, listen, you need to get on board. All her books are available on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have your subscription, start downloading and reading today, because we are going to New Orleans next. Because Emily, she realizes that, you know what, I need to deal with Dark M. Dark Emily is out of control, but you have the question of, who is the real Emily? Is it the Emily that we all know? Or is Dark M the real personality, y'all? I'm so excited. Listen, I am so excited. I'm telling you right now, if she's giving out acts for this book, I want it. I want it. I want it. I need it because the lion, I'm sure, is going to roar in New Orleans. Okay, enough about this book. I'm just like really excited because I loved it. I immensely enjoyed this book. And then we have An Arrangement of Love. This book, it just like, I'm like, what? What? Okay, so in An Arrangement of Love, we meet Chase and Jasmine. Jasmine, she's black. She has been offered a 6-figure job to be Chase's personal assistant. And from the time she's hired, he wants to change certain things about her. You know, she has her natural hair. He wants it, you know, straight. He wants her waxed and plucked. And he did this with the intention of adding her to his current arrangement with other females. So Chase has about like 3 other females. One is his fiance, and then 2 other females, and like he has different relationships with each of them. And now he wants to add Jasmine, and Jasmine is like, what? I need to think about this. On top of that, Chase has the audacity to have all of them living in a house, and on top of that, the fiance has more power. Listen, Jasmine is like, let me get out of there. Y'all need to read this. Y'all need to read it. Like, it has some little twisted things in it, in the sense that one of them isn't too right, but we have to wait for the other book in the series to come out. So again, this one, Chase wants to have his cake and eat it too. And he wants it all. He wants it all. And Jasmine is like, listen, you can't have it all. It's them or it's me. I am not, you know, I'm not cut out for that life. I'm not cut out for that life. Like, An Arrangement of Love. It's where it's at. Like, I was like, I was shocked. I totally wasn't expecting what I got in this book. I also had the opportunity of receiving an advance copy for this book right here, Unexpected Forever by Eliza Peak. This is your baseball sports romance, right? However, we have a lot of issues with both of the main characters, Nate and Charlie, carrying baggage. Nate, listen, I enjoyed this book because there's like a little scene where you know you're not supposed to want what you want, but you still want to taste it, you know? So Nate and Charlie, their siblings, are in a relationship and getting engaged. And so Charlie, she's like, you know what? I want a serious relationship. I am going to, you know, hold out and focus on my career until I find that right person. She meets Nate, and Nate is like, okay, let's have a little one night stand. Boom! Surprise baby, or unexpected baby. But that is not the main focus of this book. It's their baggage and what they are each going through and how they have to combat and deal with those issues in order to find their happily ever after. Y'all know I don't do simple. There's always going to be some type of drama in my books that I read. I love sweet. This is what I consider sweet. This is a nice, sweet, cute, small town romance, but they both have their own issues that they're dealing with, and they need to deal with it in order to get there happily ever after. I love this book. I enjoyed it. I gave this book 4 stars. It was an awesome story, and I just love that I was able to connect with the characters. I was able to relate with their baggage and understand how it can hold them back from having or experiencing that happily ever after and that happiness and joy. It was lovely. Listen, this next one, 5 stars. 5 stars. I loved this story so much. No Easy There by Samantha Christie. Oh my gosh. Willow and Hunter. When you think someone is coming with a golden platter to save you, you might just be jumping out directly from the pot into the fire. So in this story, we have Hunter. Hunter is coming from money, okay? But he doesn't understand the value of money. And then we have Willow. Willow, something really terrible happened to Willow. She's in a very hard, difficult situation that she doesn't feel that she can get away from. She doesn't feel that she can escape it. And he comes in and he sees something is wrong with her. They connect. She's also a single mom. And he's like, you know what? You just see Hunter slowly transform, and then you have all hell breaking loose. All hell breaking loose. No easy dare. Hunter was given a dare. I was so excited to see what Hunter would do with the dare that he was given. I forgot to mention that in this book, it also have a fake fiance trope in it. Listen, when I tell you I enjoyed this book, this is a book that I will recommend in terms of if you want something lighter, nothing dark and twisted, no set of dark themes, nothing graphic and violent, because y'all know I read a lot of that. So this is one that I would definitely recommend for my besties that enjoy something on the lighter side. Y'all, listen. Now, I recommended this book in June, right? Friend zoned. I recommended this in June. It came out in June. It released on June 1st. And friend zone, I loved this book so much. I enjoyed it. Beginning to end. Beginning to end. Emotions were pulled, played with. If you have read this book, then you totally understand what I'm saying. So in this book, we meet Janine. Janine, she just went through a very nasty, messy divorce, and she's trying to find herself. And she meets Aiden at a wedding. Aiden, he is an MBA coach. They meet, they hit it off, they become friends, but listen to this. Aiden wants more. And Janine is like, listen, we can be friends at this point in time. I need to find myself. I need to figure out who I am, because she was so deeply hurt. And Aiden is like, sure, find yourself. I'm going to give you the time. But note, I will be here waiting. I will be here waiting. He was so persistent. The spice in this book is really nice. The build up to everything is really nice. There's nothing that I didn't enjoy in this book. I gave this book 5 stars. 5 stars. I enjoyed it so much. Like, every single book that Evelyn Sola has released, I have been eating it down. You all will be seeing her books, and she's talking about work in progress. Ma'am, what book are you working on? Because now I'm so excited. I need to read it. And her books, well, you all know by now. You all know by now. Her books. So yes, so Friend Zone, 5 stars. This book, listen, just watching the cover right now has my heart racing. Bloody Savage God by Jordan Grant. Jesus is all I can see. This book, it is dark, y'all. It is twisted. And for people that enjoy reading books by Chantal Tessier, if y'all love the ritual and the sin and stuff like that, y'all are gonna love this. Y'all are going to enjoy this. Y'all are gonna gobble this down, devour it. You're gonna devour this book. I'm not even playing. So in this book, we meet Saint. And Saint, he has his own mental health. Now, let me back up. So there's this particular asylum, and this asylum is for kids of rich and influential parents or people. They have like mental health issues, any type of addictions. They place them in this asylum. The thing is, the asylum doesn't help them. It doesn't treat the problem. They're just literally given space to occupy and be with other like-minded folks. So Saint, he's there. Something terrible happened to him. He has his own mental health challenges, and he's the king of that asylum. And then we meet Willow. Willow, she experienced something like extremely traumatic, and she is taken to the asylum. And from the time she's there, Saint steps to her, pretends to be like an employee or someone that is orienting her to the building, orienting her to the school and the institution, because he wants to find out some stuff from her. Listen, he played mind games with this girl so much, and poor Willow, she is just like, you know what, this is not for me. I shouldn't be here. I am not this type of person. There's no reason for me to be in an asylum. And she doesn't understand why her dad placed her there. But by the end of this book, the script definitely changes. And you know what? Willow was really good for Saint. Because when I tell you Saint is messed up, y'all, Saint is messed up. Messed up, y'all. This, oh God, Lord. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Yes, mental health is here. You definitely have some dark, twisted themes in here. When you read the blurb for this book, you are going to see what I've been talking about, okay? Saint is unhinged, and the trigger warnings, please, 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 please make sure to read it. I also read Fresh and Nikki, Loving Past the Pain. Now, there are 3 parts to this book. I read all 3. In this book, we meet Fresh and Nikki. Nikki, she is running her own business. She's also a librarian, and she hasn't received a lot of support from her parents. This has hurt her really greatly. And she has this boyfriend, oh my God, Roland. And he is just a piece of work, y'all. When I tell you what this man did to Nikki, well, it's a good thing that she met Fresh. He's also an entrepreneur. He buys houses and flips them, apartments, condos, and flips them. And that is what he's been doing. But he's been doing that to pay off his father's debt. His father is involved with the cartel, and his father owed the cartel money. They had to work and pay it back, right? Turns out the man wanted them into the cartel. Listen, it was one of those books where, okay, you think everything is going to go smoothly, but it didn't. You think everything, okay, things are looking up, things are going good, but then all of a sudden, no. I love Fresh. Fresh was definitely good for Nikki. He supported her. But listen, it's a good thing that Nikki and Fresh, their path crossed, and he just brought some really positive vibes into her life, and he was able to take care of some problems, some pesky problems like Roland. He was able to just deal with Roland and get him out of the way, but that didn't see that Fresh didn't come along with his own problems, being part of the cartel, owing the cartel, then becoming involved in the cartel, and finding out that, you know, he had brothers that he didn't even know he had. Like, it was just like, it was a roller coaster with Fresh and Nikki. But y'all know, every single book that I've read by Bianca Zaviera, I enjoy, y'all. Every single month, I read her books. Most of the times, her books are always 3 parts. I'm just saying, 3 parts. I read Finding Treasure book 1 and book 2. Book 3 hasn't been released as yet. And in this book, it is your interracial paranormal fantasy type of book. You have Logan and you have Treasure. Treasure is just like your regular girl. Something happened to her, but she's a nurse. She's also living in Toronto, and she's just living her life. And then we have Logan. He is a werewolf. He's also an incubus. And I'm like, what? An incubus? I'm like, how can you have 2? So he's 2 paranormal beings as one. He's not aware of anyone else like him. He grew up not knowing his parents, not knowing his heritage, and just having to figure out that he's part werewolf and part incubus. And he encounters Treasure, and they find out, he finds out that Treasure is his mate. And now he has to figure out how to court Treasure, because she's fully human. She isn't aware of the supernatural world, of the paranormal world, and having to do that takes its toll, especially with this guy that is out to get her. So listen, there's some action in this one. It's sweet, it's steamy, I wouldn't say it's extremely spicy, but it's steamy, and it was a nice read. I wasn't expecting to read a part two, but the way it ended in part one, I'm like, yo, I need part two.